We could talk in the daytime.
Yeah.
You're quite scintillating.
Scintillating.
Yeah.
Nice. Define that.
What's that?
Define it.
Define what?
Scintillating.
You define it.
You define it. You said it.
English is not really my strongest subject.
Of course. Well, I'm glad you said it.
Okay, well, which one of the other players on the other team would you say are your biggest competition in this game?
No one, bitch.
Well, you have lost 3 matches in a row, so that kind of makes you the...
Excuse me. Is that a problem for you?
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
A little bit nicer about it and
A
just
little
go
bit nicer.
by?
You make this big
Since you
sigh. I'm
have
just
to
trying to
move
get by.
Well, as I'm sitting here and you could enter the other way.
Could you just
please?
move your legs?
What are you doing? Are you looking at my breast? You're looking at my breast.
I'm not
You
looking
are
at your
looking
breast.
at my-
I'm trying to
you
get
are
to my
looking at
seat.
He's looking at my breast.
Yeah, you and
are
your
looking
special
at my
breast. Just excuse me, please.
Just go by
Yeah.
without stepping on my foot.
Right, you wear that dress because you want people to look at your shoes, right? Is that it?
She bought Compaq. It was a terrible deal, and it really led to the destruction of the company. Now, one other company before that was Lucent. Carly was at Lucent before that, and Lucent turned out to be a catastrophe also. So I only say this, she can't run any of my companies.
Mr. Trump, I find it quite rich that you would talk about this. You know, there are a lot of us Americans who believe that we are going to have trouble someday paying back the interest on our debt because politicians have run up mountains of debt using other people's money. That is, in fact, precisely the way you ran your casinos. You ran up mountains of debt as well as losses using other people's money, and you were forced to file for bankruptcy not once,
I never filed
not
for
twice,
bankruptcy.
4 times.
It's about to start. It's 4 o'clock. He said he was starting at 4, so we're right on time. Ginger Bimbo, because I don't know a famous person. Maybe you guys should get out of these famous people's lives and like.
You're really not that interesting.
There's people trying to chase pigeons and dogs for food right now. They're out of any food because socialist governments can't plan well.
Why is that because of the socialist government?
Because the government owns almost all of the farms, all of the grocery stores.
No, the food manufacturers are private. I was there in December.
Yeah, you're actually
They're
not
owned by
right.
private companies.
Yeah, you're actually wrong. I'm sorry that you were.
I was there in December
indoctrinated.
reporting on what happened.
You should read a book called Western Intellectuals in Search of the Good World.
No, I'm just asking you though. The food companies are private. The oil is run by the state, but the food companies are private.
No, most of them are state-run.
Really? So you're telling me that the food distributors in Venezuela are state-run?
The farms,
The farms are state-run?
of the food distribution are state-run. You should
State-run.
seriously look up a guy named Paul Hollander. You like his book. It's about liberals who go to communist countries and get fooled by their Potemkin villages. It's about people like you.
People like me? What am I?
You're ignorant. You don't understand
I'm ignorant?
what's wrong with socialism.
So you've been to Venezuela?
No, but I read stories about them. I understand what's going on.
And you think all the government runs all the food companies?
They have government propaganda, and there's pictures coming about all the starvation. So unless
Well, yeah, there is a lack of food. There's definitely a food crisis.
There we go.
But you're saying
That's
it's
socialism.
caused by the government
By
when
socialism,
the food companies are private.
there are very few amount.
Are there sanctions on Venezuela?
I don't know.
You don't know if there's sanctions on Venezuela? You're an expert.
who?
You know more than I do. You're supposed to know more than I do. You don't even know if there's sanctions on Venezuela? There's economic sanctions.
Okay.
But that's not a factor, right? It's all the government, even though the food companies are all private.
They're not all private. You're wrong.
They are all private. They haven't nationalized food over there. They haven't nationalized it.
I'm buying $100,000 worth of iPhones.
$100,000?
Correct. I'm going to sell them all on eBay.
I've been here since 6 o'clock this morning.
So how much would it cost to buy your position in the front of the line?
This woman rolled up with 16 grand in cash in hand.
7, 8.
And bought Mark's #1 spot in line for $800.
She gave me $800.
Money talks.
A worthwhile investment, she thought, because
No, some more on eBay, so it's all right.
yet when the doors finally opened,
I'm first.
yup, she was first, but maybe instead of stopping at the bank, she should have stopped to read the rules. Her plan to buy out the store?
Can you buy more than one phone?
Unfortunately, we can only sell one per customer.
AT&T imposed a one phone per customer rule to make sure that there were enough to go around.
That's a serious package, folks. That is a serious package. We have a little signature leather case here.
So he's stocking up a phone with all the trimmings.
I don't think she was too happy with you.
I don't think she was, and on top of that, she didn't get a free phone. I just think she got the short end of the stick there, America. Number one, baby. Number one.
We met up with State Senate Education Chairman John Huppenthal to hear his opinion on the issue.
Yeah, it's very serious. And it's something that we simply don't want to do, those of us that care about education. These budget cuts are just simply horrendous.
So you think that the CTE program, all these funded classes are very important, right?
Oh, yes.
But in May of 2009, you voted yes on a bill that would cut $550 million from the Department of Education, and a lot of that was actually CTE, the money that would have been going to CTE. What factors led to this decision?
Well, tell me a little bit more about that vote. What committee did it take place in?
I actually have that right here. Well, it says right here that this bill actually passed. So, and then through further research, we actually saw that it did pass again in the House of Representatives, which ended up cutting $550 million.
Well, you know, I don't know the specific vote that you're talking about there. So.
Okay, well, let's move on then. Do you believe that the CTE program will survive off of the $57,000 that it is allocated?
Well, of course it will. I mean, we're going to keep these programs alive.
And because right now there's $11 million that goes statewide all throughout all the CTE programs, and even then, like you're saying that a lot of classrooms aren't able to get those large format printers and things of that nature.
Hold on for a second.
Okay,
back.
sure thing.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Jumana Imad Musa Ahmed Al-Bahri, and I'm a student here at UCSD. I was reading your literature. I found that much more interesting than the talk. And I found some interesting things about the MSA, which is an organization that's very active on campus, and it is hosting our annual Hitler Youth Week. You should come out to those events. If you could clarify the connection between the MSA and jihad terrorist networks, because last I checked, we had to do our own fundraising, and we never get help from anyone. So if you could clarify the connection between UCSD's MSA, or if you don't have such information, if you could connect other MSAs on UC's, because the connection wasn't too clear in the pamphlet. Just if you could clarify.
Will you condemn Hamas here and now?
I'm sorry, what?
Will you condemn Hamas
Would I condemn Hamas?
as a terrorist genocidal organization?
Are you asking me to put myself on a cross?
So you won't. I actually have had this experience many times. You didn't read the pamphlet because the pamphlet is chapter and verse. The main connection is that the MSA is part of the Muslim Brotherhood network as revealed in the documents.
I don't think you understood what I meant by that. I meant if I say something, I'm sure that I will be arrested for reasons of Homeland Security. So if you could please just answer my question.
If you condemn Hamas, Homeland Security will arrest you.
If I support Hamas, because your question forces me to condemn Hamas. If I support Hamas, I look really bad.
If you don't condemn Hamas, obviously you support it. Case closed. Thank you for coming and showing everybody what's here. And you're wearing a terrorist neckerchief.
If you understood...
you didn't hear the lady.
Could you please answer my question?
You don't get to make a speech. Case closed.
A boy who thinks he's a girl or a girl who thinks he's a boy, which is technically what we're talking about here. Okay, and I'm not denying your humanity if you're a transgender person, but if you are going to dictate to me that I'm supposed to pretend that men are women and women are men, no. I'm not going to modify basic biology because it threatens your subjective sense of what you are.
Okay, but you're still saying these kids should like not be accepted because they don't really fit in either place. They can't just like.
I'm saying that the Boy Scouts have a standard. You must be a biological boy to be a Boy Scout. You have to be a boy to be a Boy Scout.
Where's that written though? Okay.
In the name Boy Scouts. For all of human history, boy meant boy and girl meant girl. And if I call you a moose, are you suddenly a moose? Okay, if I redefine our terms. Yes, that's right. Men and women are a completely different thing. This is true. Have you ever met a man or a woman? They're completely different.
Completely different thing. You can't just say you're a cat. It's not saying you're.
Okay, why is that? I don't understand. Why? Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, I won't ask you how old. I will ask you how old you are. Okay, because you're young enough that it's probably not insulting to ask you. So.
I'm 22, so I'm probably young and naive, right?
No. Why aren't you 60? Why aren't you 60?
Because it.
And why can't you identify as 60? What is the problem with you identifying as 60?
It's not the same as gender. You can't just.
You're right. Age is significantly less important than gender. You can't magically change your gender. You can't magically change your sex. You can't magically change your age.